Hey Wargamers, Purple Druid here, and today we're bringing back Miniature Monday, and I just wanted to go over this gigantic pile of miniatures that I've been able to paint in the last few weeks while I've been recovering from my surgery. So there's a few in here that were already done, and a few that I touched up a little bit. For example, these robots here. These are, oh goodness, these are from a Kickstarter for Pulp Alley from the Lost Isle of Lemuria. But I just touched them up a little bit. These are some old, well, not that old, Nurgle Plague Marines. Now, these were the first Marines that I had bought in quite a while. Must have been about 2017, 2018. And this is when they really hit that scale creep right after the stupid Age of Sigmar thing. So these guys are too big. They're Terminator sized, but they're obviously not Terminator shaped. So I've got 3 of these, and we're going to use these for something in a science fiction game. But they're really big, and so they're going to count as some kind of monsters. So here you can see. This one's actually really cool. I mean, I like how big they are because it makes them easier to paint, but man, they're so much bigger than the regular Marines. This is a model I picked up at Mayhem Con. Pretty cool demon, and I think his base turned out pretty good. Cracked lava, that sort of thing. So we got that going. And here are some Reaper bones. I got to figure out a better way to show these to you guys. Let's see here. Let's move this back a little bit. Let's try this. Reaper Bones skeletons. Yeah, there we go. Watch this. I'll just zoom in on this. Watch. All right. So these are fun. Again, they're tall. They're taller than most 25 millimeters, 28 millimeters. They're probably hitting that 35 area. And if you look at them, I mean, compared to these cavalry, you can see that they're pretty tall. Let's change the angle on this a little bit. Hold on. Push this down a little more. Yeah, there we go. All right, hold on. Sorry about all this. There we go. Raise that up. All right, perfect. Okay, so you can see that the skeletons are pretty big. They're taller than the back end of the horses. So we got these guys, and we're going to be doing some fun playing around with the killing fields. We also have some Goblin Wolf Riders. These are all Reaper Bones figures. If you haven't painted Reaper Bones figures, do not spray paint them to prime them, because the spray paint will not cure. They'll stay sticky forever, and then you'll have a heck of a time painting over them. So just go ahead and paint right over them with your acrylics, and then once they're good and dry, then you can hit them with the clear coat, and that seems to work out pretty well. Now, I also picked up several sets of mushrooms from Dollar Tree and painted them up in different ways. These will be a lot of fun for underground situations and also for forest situations. I painted them up. I have an idea for a campaign idea that I think could be a lot of fun. And so some of it's going to be dungeons, some of it's going to be wilderness, so I wanted some terrain for both of those. What else do we have here? We have some ghouls. I believe these are... Mantic for Kings of War. And I have a whole bunch of these. So these will be some good enemies that we can use for the dungeon crawling. I also have some resin guys here that I picked up from Bloody Scotsman Games. This is the same place I got that demon. I painted these guys up in purple. They're technically speaking some sort of zombie Indians. They're a lot of fun. Also at Mayhem Con, I picked up 2 packets of these science fiction guys. These are the Warlock baddies, and you may recognize them from a certain Swords and Sorcery animated movie about wizards. So these can be got at Wee Wolf Miniatures, WEE Wolf, and they are very reasonably priced. I was very happy to grab those. What else do we have in here? Oh, I have this big guy. I do not know where he is from, but he is a fun Cyclops, very Harryhausen. So we'll be using him. And then there's a whole bunch of undead here. I believe these skeletons are also from Mantic. They have the same kind of base. I think this is a Games Workshop. I think these are old Games Workshop. So we've got some Mantic, some Games Workshop here. Just a bunch of skeletons. These I was going to use for the Mordheim project to be bad guys. This is a Reaper mini. What else we got here? But I think that's it. Oh, I got a couple more. So, but these are going to be a lot of fun. And again, we're going to use these for the Killing Fields. We're going to use these for the Mordheim project when I do get around to that. And that will be a lot of fun. Okay, next up we have some warriors. These, I believe, came with Wargames Illustrated. And they're multi-part kits. Or they could be Frostgrave Barbarian types. I'm not sure. One of the two. But in any case, I have 7 of these. So these guys will make a fun little warband. And again, like I said, you're going to see them on the board shortly. When I'm going to be doing some playtests for Killing Fields, because I really, really want to get that out and have the free version ready for everybody by the end of the summer. Now here, I honestly don't know where these guys are from. I have a feeling they're from Brigade, but I could be wrong. So these are kind of interesting looking dudes. They kind of have Northern European hairstyles and some kind of, their loins are girded. But we've got some archers, we got some spearmen. So again, these will be fun with the Killing Fields. I have a warrior from an Age Undreamed Of, and another fellow who might make a good commander. So you're definitely going to see these again very soon on a battlefield near you. Again, it was a lot of fun to paint these. I haven't painted in a long time, and having all this extra time on my hands was a real bonus. Now, at Mayhem Con, I also picked up these. There's 3 of them. They are 3D printed resin alien pods. And I just put them on oval wooden bases that I got from Hobby Lobby. Oops, back out a little bit. There we go. And so these will make some lovely terrain features. Could even use it for Xenos, the Xenos thing we did. Also using those same ovals and some little trees that I got. and some Sculpey bases that I purchased, or just a piece of cork board. I made these little forests, so these you can drop these around, and you may have seen these in a couple of other videos where we did some battles. So those are lovely terrain pieces. And then this also came from Mayhem Camp. This is from a game called Immanentize. I don't have any idea what that is. This was given to me to paint by a friend. It's a really interesting looking dude. He's got a big old sword. He looks like kind of a serial killer. Again, now this is a really big figure. He would fit right at home with the Nurgle giant dudes. So he's some kind of 40mm scale or something. Do not know what I'm going to use him with. Maybe I'll use him with those Nurgle guys. I do have some old War Machine figure. I believe that's what this is. A kind of a wizard. And I've got an old Games Workshop wizard here. Nurgle wizard. Nurgle sorcerer. And then we have some other lead minis. I'm not sure where these guys came from. There's some sort of fishmen, Dagonite mutants, that sort of thing. And then I've got these dregs from Mordheim. These are old figures. These are real old. And then I'm not sure. I think these are old Citadel skeletons. I've got a handful of these as well. So you can see how those came out. Pretty excited about those. Then I have, these are all machines, I believe. Remember that I bought these going of my Chaos Cultist army that I was building based on the Word Bearer Omnibus science fiction book from Black Library. And these were going to be some sort of dudes that were, leaders, officers in the cult. They came out really nice. I'm really happy with them. And then we also have the Brumman soldiers. These definitely, I remember they did come from War Games Illustrated. You got a sprue that had 4 of them on it. So they're multi-part kits. I built 2 to be with Gladius and 2 with Sling. And there's one more I wanted to show you. 2 more, actually. 2 more. Oh, here we go. 3 more. We have a Goblin Shaman. He came out pretty good. And then I have a Lich of some kind or some sort of undead creature. Again, I think this is a War Machine figure. And then this was a lot of fun and easier to do than I thought it would be. But it's a brain in a jar, a little walking dude. This is going to be the leader of one of the Mordheim groups, the Master Wizard or the Aberration or one of those. So he'll be a lot of fun. We'll have some fun with that. So definitely we're going to be playing some Mordheim games. I suspect I would, if I can pull it off, I'm going to bring Mordheim up to Carnage Con this fall. And so you'll get to see a lot of that. But I'm definitely going to have the final version of the Killing Fields ready for that. And the print version, ideally, will be ready as well. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure and hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, keep on gaming.